Hey, everybody. Can you see me now? How you doing tonight? Am I streaming or what? Huh, says I'm streaming. Who all we got in the house tonight, folks? Am I on or not? Hi, everybody. Let's see who we got in the house tonight. Looks like we got Monkey Paw in the house. Um, Thanks for the videos you've been sending me, Monkey Paw. uh, some funny stuff. I got JJ in the house. Linda's in the house. Hi, everybody. How was your weekend? My YouTube Live isn't working. My where it shows how many people are here, not working. I guess I didn't get that fixed. I'm not sure, but my camera, it looks like, is glitching as well. Is it just glitching on my end, or is the light going up and down for you guys? Let's try changing the lighting. Maybe that'll help. Let's see. Ooh. Uh-huh. Doesn't seem to be helping. You tell me, guys, is that good? Who else? We got Jane in the house tonight. Alice is in the house. Hi, Alice. JJ, I think I said hi. How's everybody doing? Kevin, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a bit. I think you popped in on us last time, but it'd been a while. Yep, I was having issues once again. So, for those of you who care, OBS was giving me fits, and basically, it's been updated. It was updated last week, and then they've been coming out with fixes for it, and I think I'm good now. I think I got everything taken care of. So I just happened to come home and see that they were people had been posting about it. So I figured, let's see if I can get YouTube docked up here. Maybe not. Trying to look at the poll that I put on here, and it's not being very cooperative, I tell you. So, I can't see it. Somebody tell me what the poll ended up being, where we're at with the poll, because it's not being cooperative. Woody's in the house. Got Alice. Linda's in the house. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. How's that, Linda? Is that better? Not as much glare? Okay, let me try and pull my dock back up so I can see. Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay. It looks like 77% of you have said that yes. I don't know why it's not letting me. I can just see the 77% part. It's not letting me see the other one. I think maybe I just put it as a yes and no. Okay, we're going to end the poll anyway. So we'll end that. 78%. It ended at 78%. So tonight's poll was kind of about 78 to 20. Poll completed. 32 votes. We had 32 votes in the poll, and 78 say that you have witnessed bullying or cruelty on YouTube. So that does not surprise me. Tonight we're talking a little bit about, and I noticed that someone brought it up, Bear's latest video. Correct? Did somebody bring that up? So give me a hands up for those of you who follow any of the Brown family, whether it be Bam Bam, Noah, Bear. Bear posts a lot on TikTok and once in a while on YouTube. He's not like a regular poster on YouTube. So I don't know if any of you follow. I'm not a big TikToker, you know what I mean? But I did, when everything happened with Matt, I had a TikTok. I never used it. And I went over to TikTok and I started following, because Bear posts there a lot and other people. Oh my goodness. Billy has been a member for 2 months. Just reminded me of that. Thanks, Billy. Okay, so when Bear announced that Matt was missing and most likely not with us anymore, which was several days, I think after it had been, at least 2 days after it had been reported, the amount of hatred and the audacity of some of the comments that were being left on his page left me literally sick to my stomach. And then I started watching some of his other videos, including his TikToks, and kind of paying attention. And it's every time the man posts. Every time he posts, there are people in his comments saying horrible, horrible things, you guys. Just incredible kind of cruelty, in my opinion. Now, this isn't new for the Browns. I'm going to say that. And Linda said that he has posted twice on YouTube in the last couple of days. So I did see one of his recent posts where I think he kind of addressed it. And good for him, because he has often said in the past, I'm just so used to it that I just ignore it. And unfortunately, I've been putting up with it for a very long time. I think most of us here were Matt Brown fans, and we also saw it on his channel for years and years and years. People would make comments like, get a job. You're a grifter, your family's grifters, and you don't know anything about real bush life. You guys never really lived in the bush. Just put downs and cruel things to them. I think the internet has not been nice to them since Billy died, but I think it even started before that. Lots of rumors, lots of people saying things about the Brown family, the whole show. I remember thinking in the beginning when I first started seeing a lot of that stuff that, well, you're going to have people that have their opinions and question everything. And it is a reality TV show, and anybody that thinks it's all real is really uh, naive. Maybe is the word. I don't know how anyone out there could think that reality TV shows are real, that they're not staged, scripted. They're not real. Um, there's aspects of them that are real, I do believe. I mean, but come on. It's just common sense would tell you that you're seeing what they want you to see, period. What the Discovery Channel wanted you to see, what the Browns wanted you to see, and what the producers and the cameramen and the staffing wanted you to see. That's what you're getting. That's all you're going to get. You're not going to get any more than that on any reality show, right? But we watch them. I love Survivor. Um, I have never really watched a lot of the Alone reality shows. Has anybody? Not the Naked and Alone. I watch those all the time. No, I'm kidding. The Alone shows where they put people in certain situations, um, like Patagonia, and they drop them off, and they have to survive. And the one who survives the longest, I find it fascinating. I'm not like a follower of it, but I do follow some of the people that have come off that show, like the guy up in Canada, and now I can't even think of his name. Um, and there's another one that lives in Maine. Anyway, they have YouTube channels now. They got success off of the show, and they do wilderness survival type stuff. And their shows are very interesting to me. So I do watch those. Monkey Paw, I'm sorry that we burst your bubble with all of this tonight. It'll be okay. Good point, Kevin. Yeah, Linda. I think a lot of people report the ugliness. I know I have before too. You see Gabe getting flack too. I don't really, every once in a while I'll catch something that he posted, and I don't even know where I catch it. It might be Facebook. Um, I'll catch something that I don't think he posts a lot. Sandra said, Bear gets a lot of bullying on Facebook and Instagram. Matt's hate comments took over his YouTube channel. Jamie left Instagram because of it. So I know that is where Matt and Jamie's relationship kind of started, was on Instagram. And then when he lost his Instagram, and I think he was already doing, I know he was already doing stuff on YouTube, he just said he was going to stick to YouTube. And he said that many times. The second video of bears. So I thought he was going to Alaska, Linda. Did that get, because the one I saw, he was in Seattle, going to go to Alaska. Is that off now for Bear? I'm taking. Billy thinks that Bird, Bird is probably the one that I do catch that gets the least amount of flack. Um, and I want you to think about this. And I like Bird, so please don't take this wrong, guys. Please do not take this wrong. She is probably the most level-headed, but she lives in a little shed with a ton of cats on the mountain, and her chickens, and she lives the most unconventional lifestyle of anyone in the family, as far as I can see. And she does her interesting but different craft projects, and she does do YouTube, and her and Bear battle a lot. But I can say this: out of all of them that I've caught, their social media and their posts, she probably gets the least amount of hatred. Good, and I'm glad. I don't want any of them to get hatred. I can tell you that if any of you are watching Bam or Bear, or mostly Bam is what I watched before Matt's, you know, um, and I did watch Bears, and there were constant, I mean, comment after comment after comment after comment. I don't know how many times Bam addressed it, and that Bear also was getting it, because Bear actually did a video on it. And that was, Matt's in trouble. You guys need to get a hold of Matt. Matt is not well. Please, your brother, you got to get a hold of your brother. And I understand that. I understand why people were doing that. But the other side of that was, for every one of those comments, there were 10 comments just trashing the family, because they had alienated Matt, and we all know this. If you followed Matt addressed it many times. They've addressed it many times. And the truth is, it was kind of a mutual thing, from my understanding and from what Matt said on several different occasions. It was a mutual thing. And he even addressed it that sometimes it's not healthy, that they can still be your family, but it's not healthy for you to be in a relationship with them, and that they had all gone on and had children and got married, and they were living different lives. And, kind of like he wasn't living in the past, and neither were they. Matt said that many, many times. So, but there were people going on his brother's channels, and I mean, just thrashing them and blaming them for Matt's condition. Well, we saw that going on in many different ways as well. And if they weren't thrashing the Browns, they were thrashing Jamie, or blaming me, or blaming whoever it was that made them feel good that day to blame. And it was going on. It was happening. And I guess it's human nature. Yeah, it was a terrible thing, but I want you guys to think about this. Those kids were in their 30s when that show ended. I mean, Matt was, I think 32 when he left the show. And they were enmeshed. The whole family was enmeshed, and had been for many, many, many years. And there does come a time you get married, you go have your own kids. You're not interdependent on your parents and your siblings anymore. You become independent of that. And there is nothing unhealthy about that. So maybe they went from one extreme to another extreme, especially in the case with Matt. But he seemed to think that was the best thing for him. He did talk about that several times. So, my dad always said this: don't get involved in family affairs. Never get involved in fights between a man and a woman that are in a relationship. Don't get involved. Don't take sides, because you're going to lose in the end. So people have to work those relationships out themselves. That is something, when you have a family dynamic or a man and wife dynamic, that you often see when other people get involved. And I'm not talking about situations where somebody needs help getting out of a relationship because it's of danger to them. I'm talking about, you will be the loser anytime you take sides You know what? Oh, they're fighting tonight. You take sides. You tell so and so how it is. And tomorrow they're back together. And guess who the bad guy is? And guess who won't have that relationship is going to be damaged because of it. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I've kind of always lived by that. Okay. Got a lot of comments here. So yeah, I think that that does. So, I've seen a lot of things about Billy recently too. And well, basically since he died, a lot of people attacking Billy and saying things about Billy, and Billy didn't treat him right, and Billy used the kids as workhorses. If that is true, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't have a relationship with that family. But if that is true, it's been 5 years and the kids still talk about him, including Matt, with great admiration. Great admiration. Whatever their dynamic was, whether it was right, wrong, fair, or indifferent, it was their family dynamic. And I can tell you this, everything that I've seen from those kids, his children, points to kids that love their dad a whole lot. So we don't always understand family dynamics. Family night dynamics have changed a lot in this world. They're nothing like they were 150 years ago, nothing like it. So the independence and, families used to depend on one another. Family farms were passed down, generations. And, have you ever heard of a century farm? Anybody ever heard of that? There used to be a lot of century farms in this country, and that is a farm that has been in operation for at least 100 years in the same family. So that dynamic is something that really built our country, to be honest with you. And that dynamic has changed. Um, I don't know. I think that in the world that we're living in today, I'm wondering if that family dynamic and the closeness and the tightness and having an entire family to depend on to provide maybe something that we need again in this country. Just my opinion. Things aren't looking great from where I sit. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Yes. And yes, I don't know if you've been here before and I missed you, but welcome tonight. And thank you for your comment. They all grew up off the grid, and that affects people in ways that you wouldn't understand unless you've lived like that. Exactly. Um, I will never know what it was like to grow up independently wealthy with family money that's been passed down by generations. Um, I don't know what it's like to grow up within the inner city, where gang life and so forth is very prevalent, because that's a very different way to grow up as well. And I think unless you have experiences, that it is very hard to understand how those dynamics work. You understand the family dynamic that you grew up with. You don't understand other family dynamics. You just don't. Oh, well, I do agree with you there, Cheryl. I'm going to lift my, don't mind me. Don't look, I'll try not to make you look up my nose. I'm trying to raise my table here. It's feeling a little low. So, yeah, seasons. I don't know if it makes people feel better to blame, but I can tell you with my experience as an addict and with my experience as a family member with addicts, the blame game is something people do. It really is. Um, it's kind of like the parent, Johnny would never do that. Johnny would never do that. It must have been the other kids. They must have influenced it. We've all seen it. Well, that really shows up in dynamics with addicts and addicts families. You see that a lot. And then you have the other side where they don't understand that at some point you have to cut some people off in your life, not because you don't love them, because you do love them, but because your mental health and stability is being affected so negatively by them. And you've given them chance after chance after chance, and they continue to choose the same directions. Um, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You can't hit bottom if you have people bailing you out all the time. And a lot of times addicts have to hit their bottom before they get help. And sadly enough, even when he was at his bottom, he just would not accept the help. I saw a YouTuber the other day. This one blew my mind. I'm not even going to give you the YouTube name of this person because I didn't write it down in a mold, for one thing. This guy got on and said, I found out that Matt Brown, when he was gone, I found out that he had a YouTube channel. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel, but I've been going back and watching his videos, and I really wished I'd known at the time, because I feel like if I had reached out to him, I could have helped him. I just have this sense that if I had been able to reach out to him, I would have been able to help him. And he goes into this whole thing about it. And I'm like, well, not only didn't you watch when Matt was making YouTube videos, but you didn't bother to watch the lives and the people in his comments, because so many people reached out. Frontier offered for him to go to Betty Ford. He said he would pay for it. And that was somebody Matt had known for quite a while, that had conversed with him on his channel over and over again. And Matt had mentioned him amongst many, many other people that reached out, including Tom, who showed up in person and reached out. So, yeah. And Robert, you had Matt's phone number. You talked to Matt on several different occasions, sent him packages. So you had been a part of his channel and in his life for years at that point, and you couldn't reach him. Sometimes people are unreachable. Sadly enough, there are times when people are unreachable. I don't know if that person even knows when they've crossed that line. I used to say that the most miserable I ever got in my life and in my addiction was like when the day that I woke up and I realized I didn't feel anything. Feeling sad is horrible. Feeling unwanted sucks. Feeling like a failure, feeling like the worst piece of crap but when you reach a point where you can't feel anything, that is the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. And that is a dangerous place to come to. Just my 2 cents. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you. So Gail says, my roommate was an addict off and on with drugs. She couldn't function in this world. I moved out because I couldn't take it. It happens. You know, sometimes the only thing you can do is save yourself. That's the truth. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. And that was when, so in case you don't know, in case you didn't catch it, because like a lot of you I know don't have TikTok or follow TikTok. Um, Bear made a video. I'm gonna say it was maybe 6 weeks before Matt went in the river. Bear made a video and he basically begged people to stop giving him money. And he said, my brother is in a bad way, and you giving him money is not going to help him. And you can't help somebody who won't help themselves. You can go watch the video. I believe he still has it up. And he got slammed for that too, guys. And he was telling the truth, and he was speaking his truth. And he was trying to save his brother. And he had talked to his brother. And he told his brother to get into treatment, to get back into recovery. He could do it. You can do it, Matt. You got to get back into recovery. I believe he even says that in the video. But I know he said it in another video. And I remember Matt speaking about that he had called Bear as well. He had given his brother a call. So not to hash up old things, and I'm not trying to do that. Because I think it was traumatic for a lot of people. But my point in all of this is that it's still going on. So, for all of those people that, were so mad and blame the haters, go show the Browns themselves some support. Because if you thought the haters were bad on Matt's channel, you really should go check out Bears. Unbelievable. And Noah's. The last time Noah did a post, and when he posted about his brother, it was horrible. Even on Gabe's. Horrible. Horrible. Horrible comments. It is. It's gotten to the point that the internet, people are sitting behind their computers saying things, and they have very little conscience about it. People are very critical. Some of the YouTube channels out there that I watch that do commentary, I don't even like. I would like to get into it with you guys about one channel. I don't want to send people over to that channel. And now there's a few other that have popped up. And I'm just going, what the heck? I'm just going, what the heck? So that brings us to the next topic. Who was complaining about their back, JJ? Who, Noah? Are you talking about Noah? Yeah, I agree with you, Billy. I know I missed some things here, guys, but I want to get to the next saga. Hi, Gail again. He was 36 when he left the show, Sandra. I don't know why I thought 32. So he left the show in 2019. It's 2026, 7 years later. I'll have to do the math later, my brain isn't working right now. But I do know he left the show in 2019. So I'd taken a bunch of clippets. Who's been following Jeb any? Yeah, I know Bear. I gave you guys 3 videos where Matt talked about Bear and what a great guy he was and how much he was very supportive of Bear. Unlike a certain fungus tried to portray, which I don't think him and Matt were close at all. And if his little fans are in here, so be it. I don't give a crap. At this point, I am glad that Bear took the measures that he took. I've got all the screenshots of the videos that he posted. Disgusting. I mean, disgusting things that he was saying to Bear, to bringing Ami into it, bringing his brothers into it. And it was just uncalled for, disgusting stuff. And he showed it to us, like these texts. He showed it to us. The Pooh Bear thing. Your brother told me I don't believe that for a single second that Matt told him intimate things about his family. Not for a single second. You are not close with him like that. There is no way anybody is ever going to convince me that he was close with Matt. Not even going to go there. Somebody would have to show me pictures and videos of those two hanging out. I'd have to have multiple sources of evidence to believe that Fungus and Matt were buds. I think Matt did a couple videos with them. I think they were, hey, how you doing kind of thing. I do not believe they were close. There's a difference between being an acquaintance with somebody and being close to them. And the fact that Matt only lived in Orville for 2 years, you guys, he was up on the mountain. He was up in Loomis. I mean, that's not just down the street, by the way. So the first few years he was back in Washington. He wasn't in Orville. He didn't know Fungus then. Prove me wrong, Fungus. Show me some photos. Let's see some videos, you guys hanging out. Got all these videos. Where's the photos? Where's the pictures? Other than the business transaction that took place between you guys, where Matt was trying to boost your business for you, show me something more. I want to see it, because I do not believe you, dude. Do not believe you for 1 second. So what's everybody got to say about that? 105? Dear Lord. Wow, no wonder. So I've heard they got all the fires contained up there. Is that right? Well, I was talking about the old fungus, Sky Kitty. Oh, excuse me. So, good old fungi we were talking about just now. But I started to talk about Jeb. Yeah, seasons. We talked about that a lot here when Matt was still with us. Matt openly admitted to using methamphetamines. That area is pretty riddled with that. And the combination of methamphetamines and alcohol is a horrible combination. Let's just put it this way. And I, from experience, myself and with family members, I believe he was in meth psychosis a lot of the times. And you got to remember, a lot of the lives were taken down. The worst of them were taken down. So a lot of us did see those. And I'm sticking with it. I believe he was in meth psychosis. There was a lot of meth psychosis going on the last 2 months of his life. He said that he had been using meth since August 8th of 2025. Jamie also had alluded to that problem as well. So, the combination of the two is a horrible combination. I'm just going to put it that way. I won't go back over that. So JJ, Kevin thinks that I think, do you want, I'm going to give you my opinion whether you want it or not. And it's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree with me. It doesn't matter. We can still be friends. That's the great thing of being sensible. And here it is. I really believe from day one, he had no intention of giving that truck back. I believe from day one, that was some kind of trophy to him. That truck, Max, was a celebrity all in itself, right? My opinion. My opinion is, as soon as he got resistance from Jamie and the rest of the family, he turned on them all. Every single one of them he turned on like that. And I think that says a lot about his character. Just saying, my opinion. Nancy seems to think so too. What did JJ say? Yep. Matt and Fungi, the only videos we saw of them together. The only time he talked, well, that's wrong because it was Robert that had to tell me. Thank you, Robert Gaylor. Super fan that you were. He tuned into everything. And when Matt used to do his talks with Matt, and his music madness, he allowed call-ins, and Fungi did call in drunk. Very obviously drunk. That did happen once. So if you want to go back and look for that, I believe it was Talk to Matt, one of the Talk to Matt live call-ins. Yeah, I think a lot of us, I was following him. I don't think I ever followed him. Oh, yeah. He was pulling this thing for a little while, guys. And I don't know if any of you caught on to this or saw this, but he would go on live and just have the camera pointed at the mountain and say nothing. And everything was being done in the chat. And then he would end the live and the chats were gone. And he even announced it a couple times that he was going to do it. So there was a lot going on in those chats. I never caught him, to be honest with you. The one, I wish I would have, because I turned it on. I saw it and I turned it on and I'm like, what is this? And it was that weird. I'm like, what is this? And I'm watching and it's just this picture of the mountain and it had been on for an hour. And I thought, so I kind of scrolled back and I come back and the whole thing. And I didn't realize what it was is everything. He wasn't saying anything. Everything was being said in the chat. Everything was being said in the chat. And then the video would disappear. The whole thing would disappear. Anybody else catch that? I think it happened twice, 2 or 3 times. Yeah, Billy, I, I don't know the guy personally, and I don't follow him, and I haven't I went back and watched some of the videos before Matt, and they all seem like man type videos, racing and four wheeling, and what I'm saying. And but my opinion, again, my opinion, kind of an attention kind of guy. It seems like to me, like, look at me kind of guy. He's gonna jump his truck over the mountain and or the river, and he's got continual issues with the homeowners associate. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that point to some immaturity and possible attention seeking. Let's just put it that way. But here I am on YouTube, so there you go. I guess we're gonna creating on YouTube. You're probably attention seeking, right? I don't know. I don't know. Billy, I gotta address that too. So the passing of Matt has been very strange. Something is off in the way he went out when he said he would never take his own life. And I did see where I think Monkey Paw was pointing out the cartel up there and just different things that, people that you that are hard to get your mind around. Um, I I'm gonna say this, guys. I wasn't there. I don't know. Um, lots of rumors. Lots of rumors. He wasn't the same person. I'm gonna say the last 8, 9 months. I mean, I started my channel 2 months before he passed. Because I had been watching it long enough that I was just like, this is not going to end well. Um, Tom said, Matt, this is not going to end well. I think a lot of people felt like that. I don't think he was the same, especially the last 2 months, you guys. It wasn't the same guy. So if something weird did happen, if there were other people involved, I hope that it comes out. I don't know that we'll ever know. Uh, when you're that's another thing when you're dealing with people in that realm or world of drugs, especially if there's heavy cartel kind of things going on. That's a tight lip ship. uh so even if people did know something, I don't know that they would come forth with it out of fear. I know there's been a lot of different fingers pointed in a lot of different ways, but I also know that was not the same person we all knew for a very long time. It was not the same person. It just wasn't. Sadly enough, it just was not. Because Mac, uh, my opinion is Max brought a lot of attention, and like I said, Max was almost as famous as Matt. Max had become a character in Matt's life. He had a life of his own. Matt created Max's life. And it was the one thing that was iconically Matt Brown. Iconically. So that is the reason I think he wanted to keep Max. Are you talking about Max? Linda, watch what I say. All I'm saying is if there is some kind of something that has gone on behind the scenes that we don't know about, I don't know that we ever will. And if it is somehow related to things that have been mentioned here, I don't know that we ever will. And fear will keep people quiet. So I don't know. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying that I saw somebody experiencing psychosis the last 2 months of his life on a regular basis. We all watched it, and it's, I believe what happened happened. I don't believe there's some big secret conspiracy. I don't. Myself, I personally don't believe it. There's been a lot of things said. I've seen it. You've seen it. It's been all over the internet. Come on. Um, I'm not the first one to say it. I'm not the first one to point it out. So I've said this a million times before. I don't think Matt ever met a stranger. Wow. 110? Dear God. That is a good point, Kevin, that you're making as well. Um, as much as Matt talked, oh, I don't even care if I get demonetized. Matt talked about suicide a lot, you guys, a lot the last 6 months of his life. He brought it up over and over again. And it wasn't just to point the finger at Jamie, it was in general, a lot of different times. I don't know that. I mean, I think that had a lot to do with the methamphetamines too and the alcohol mixture. But it's not normal for people to bring that topic up over and over again either. So I'm glad that somebody else, and not glad that you went through it, Starry Night. I'm glad that somebody else who's experienced that is talking about it because we did talk about it a lot here. Um, it's just it's a horrible and and I don't want to downplay the other stuff that's going on the streets, the fentanyl, the very that whatever that drug is they're using up in trank, the trank. Oh my God, making people to literally zombies, and the fact, you guys, that they're mixing all of this stuff up. So now the meth has fentanyl in it, and the fentanyl has trank in it, and it's deadly cocktails all over the place. And what it's doing to people's minds is not good, not good at all. Yes, everyone that loved Matt loved Max. I'm going to tell you guys this. I spent I don't even know how many hours, you guys, searching through the videos for a comment that somebody made about Max. And Matt replied to it that he wanted to be buried in Max. And I sent it to Bear and I sent it to Bam and I tried sending it to Tom the Hunter. And if you don't know who that is, he's a guy on YouTube that knows Gabe and he knows Noah. I tried sending it to Noah. No response. Nobody answered me. Couldn't get it to him. So then Hunter Tom, who I knew the family that like Noah came to his baptism and he's got pictures that he posted and all of this. And I know this because the crazy wolf guy and him did a live together and Tom brought the receipts with the photos. And I really know the family. And I think he was calling the wolf guy out basically. But the way that they were talking on the live is like they had, made friends. First off, the wolf guy was one of the first ones to attack Bear and was saying nasty things about Bear and claiming that he was like Matt's best friend, which turned out to be just a bunch of crap. That's all been uncovered. So anyway, him and Time are doing a live, and I'm like, okay, finally, I'm gonna send it out. I can't get it through to Tom. I can't get it through to Bear. I can't get it through to Noah. I just want the family to make sure, in Matt's words, he wants to be interned in his truck. and and I sent it to that stupid wolf guy because he had done a live with Hunter Tom, and I really wanted Hunter Tom to get it. And anyway, it did finally get to the family. Not the right way, but it did finally get to him. Oh, I missed something. There's lots of Mexican restaurants everywhere. I was watching somebody up in some teeny tiny town that's just barely hanging on. That was a coal town, and there's like, but you got a great Mexican restaurant here. There's 3 Mexican restaurants in the little tiny town I work in, or I live in, and no Chinese. That's what really gets me. Um, I saw a comment that I wanted to highlight. U2 1960. I'm trying to get your comment up on there. I wanted to put that up there because I can't find it and where I can highlight it, but I can read it. U2 1960. Does everyone forget a witness said he seen Matt walk into the river? Moments later, they heard a gun shot and he was gone. Is that not how the claim went, or am I remembering it? I think wrong. I think you meant to say wrong. And yes, if you were born in 1960, you're still young. And why can't, okay. So I've got to go back and forth between YouTube chat and over here in Ninja chat where I put your messages up. It's the internet. People make everything into a conspiracy. And I think the thing that gets people that watched Matt for a very long time And a lot of the people that are having trouble believing that he did that is because he said he never would. And he said, never give up, never surrender. That was his motto. We listened to that for 6 years. Never give up, never surrender. So, fans, diehard fans had a hard time digesting that he gave up. Um, I get it. I do get that. Yeah. And Jane, I get that too. But I also think maybe the relationship took the turn it took because he had started using again. I'm just saying it's a slippery slope and you start doing things you wouldn't do. And the whole thing with Skater Girl, how that all went down, it was pretty suspect, and I can understand why Jamie was very suspect of that. Uh we don't have any proof. Yes, I understand where you're coming from, but it's pretty widely known that the cartel has um, penetrated a lot of the reservations on this country. That is something that's pretty widely known. Um, hey, Scotty Kitty, thanks for the 100 jewels, sweetheart. Oh, a Sunday. That sounds good, right now. A Sunday. So, I do agree with you. The combination of methamphetamine and alcohol, it's a horrible. My my kids have three people that they've lost. Um, Probably like when we lived in Georgia, three different kids that they hung out, went to school with, and both of those were involved for all three of them. It's not a good combination. Seasons, a lot of you might not know this, but never give up, never surrender was something that Amy said quite a few times on the show, the Alaskan Bush People, to her kids. I was rewatching some of that and I was like, oh, wow, I never realized that. I don't know if that might have been a family motto as well. I'm just saying, if you go back and watch, two different times I saw her say it. One of them was actually to Matt. Gail, I agree with you there. The last video that he made on Memorial Day, there was a brokenness there that we hadn't seen um before that video. It was a different broken. We had seen him broken, we had seen him crying, we had seen some really bad moments. But that day, that particular video, I actually got hope for it because he did say he had been sober, and what I heard, and maybe it's because I wanted to hear it, you guys, was the type of brokenness that would lead you to recovery. And I guess maybe that's just, I kept saying I want a redemption story. Come on, Matt, give us a redemption story. Um, Maybe it was wishful thinking on my part. I don't know. It was a different kind of brokenness. Anybody else? understand what I'm saying, that watched those last 2 months, like caught all of those really bad lives where we did see him crying and just broken in a different way though than that day. It was a different kind of brokenness. Yeah, there was a sadness to it. I guess having been, I did intake coordination um, at Abba House. The 5 years that I was there, I was the intake coordinator, and I worked with a lot of people where you interview and they have to apply and they have to send a letter and then you do a phone interview and then you bring them in for an interview. And it got very I learned very quickly how to recognize true brokenness and when somebody was doing something to please their significant other, their family, the court. There's a difference. There's a big difference. And I thought, I guess maybe I hope that's what I saw. And I think so. It was it he seemed okay, Monkey Ball. He said he was sober for 2 days, and I agree with you on that, but there was a brokenness in him, and you could feel it and you could see it. And I believe he had just learned that he lost his second channel, and YouTube kind of with a two strikes you're out type of a thing. Um, that and he talked about that, and he talked about that in that video, and he talked about that in another video. And I don't know why people don't understand that had been his life since he'd come back to Washington. YouTube was his way of talking to you. There were times Matt was very lonely, you guys, and you could see it and you could tell it, and he had his community, and I think it kept him going. And I believe that, he burnt that down. And it almost felt like on purpose sometimes. It really almost felt like he burned it down on purpose in some ways. He Did anybody go back and watch the second to the last actual video he ever made in September of 2025? And I'm trying to think of it now. Driving After Dark, I think it was. And the end, these goodbyes that he left. Go read those. That's a good question, Seasons. That's a good question. Like I said, it's hard to hit bottom if people keep bailing you out. And for addicts, money is a problem if they have access to it. It just is. So I did want to get to Jeb. Has anybody else? I know Cheryl, my friend Cheryl, has been watching Jeb because she's been leaving comments. So I wanted to bring up Jeb's journey once again, because when it comes to the hatred and the stuff that I've seen going on the internet, he's been doing so good, you guys, so good. And I have some stuff for you to show you. So, Russell does stuff. If you haven't heard of his YouTube channel, he's a small time YouTuber. And I really like the way Russell does stuff, you guys. He seems like a really good guy. Go check him out. He was one of the first people that stuck up for Jeb. One of the few people that stuck up for Jeb. I really liked the way he handled it. I had seen his channel a couple times before, but I wasn't following him, subscribed to him, or anything like that. And that had to do with the whole Sarasota Tim mess that happened a couple years ago. So, he was making commentary on that. Yeah, Becca, we'll go ahead and talk about that too. There were reports, and it was multiple people did say that Matt was also out in traffic that day right before this happened, saying that God had sent him. I don't know what that was about, but that sounded like psychosis to me as well. And several people said that. So, and called in there was a police report even called in about it. Well, actually, you weren't here maybe, but Bear did make a video. I think it was about a month before. And people were going to their channels and they were saying that Matt's in really bad shape. UD6 1960. A lot of people were. And I know Bam addressed it. You can't help somebody that won't help themselves. And Matt was being offered help left and right. And that is the truth. So the family who had dealt with this for years and years and years and years, 3 times Matt went through treatment, when he was still with the family and on the program. So we don't know. We saw the last few months what Matt could be like when he was using. They lived through it a lot longer than that. A lot longer than that, you guys. So I just wish everybody would take that into consideration when it comes to the family, that the family made choices that the family chose to make. Matt made choices that Matt chose to make. And there are often times that families, they can't do it anymore. They can't take anymore. They can't do it anymore. And, it wasn't the family's attention Matt was trying to get. I can tell you that. I don't know. I do know he reached out to Bear and he even said it on a video on one of the lives he did that he had spoken to Bear, and Bear did make a video about it, and Bear did address it. Not to be giving him money, that he's in a bad way. I've spoken to him and I'm encouraging him to go back to rehab and that he can do it. And Matt was not having any talk about rehab. We all watched it. We all watched over time and time again. There were people that offered him a place to live. There were people that offered to pay for rehab. I offered to get him in touch with several different rehabs that did not cost money, that he could get scholarship through. There were so many people reaching out. I'm not tuning my own horn because there were literally so many people reaching out, trying to help him. People calling the motel, people going to the motel. There were a lot of people trying to help Matt. There were a lot of people that did try to help Matt. Yeah, seasons. I've got I've got a brother and a sister both that went through recovery and are doing very well and have built very good lives for themselves. And then there was a time that they were in horrible, horrible, horrible shape. So it can be done. Anybody can. I don't want to lose hope for anyone. I believe in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th chances. Sometimes it takes 10 chances. And that person turns their life around and ends up mentoring and helping people to save their lives. I've seen it happen. We have seen gang members, drug addicts out of prison that have mentored and helped people change their lives and turn around and be a blessing to others and to their communities and to the world. They need chances to do that. That's, I think, what bothers me so much about what happened with Benjamin Reese Robinson from the Offended Outcast channel, Jeb. It's why it probably bothers me the most. Hi, Time Pop. How are you? Been a while. All right, so we're going to get on to... He is funny, isn't he, Cheryl? You watch him? Russel does stuff. He's got a very satirical kind of sense of humor. And he is definitely a guy that believes in giving people second chances, third chances, fourth chances. I think he's been through a lot. And you can tell just by the way he handles things. So he's been helping Jeb. And Jeb and him did a live the other night. And of course, as soon as it was over, or not a live, they did an interview. And as soon as it was over, Russell was getting tore up in the comments, folks. Not nice that he's an idiot and Jeb's taking advantage of him and Jeb this and Jeb that. And Jeb said that he was on. This is the part I love the most. So I had to redo all of my media stuff. So hold on for a minute while I get some things for you guys to show you some stuff. So when I had to reset everything tonight and do those updates, I lost all the snips and stuff I had to show you tonight, which is fine. Not a big deal. Because you can go to the channels and you can watch it yourself. I highly suggest you go and check out Russel Does Stuff. I really like him. He's one of those people that you can tell, he's been through it and he is a nice guy. I think he's a really nice guy. I really do think so. That's my opinion. But, we're going to get to that real quick. If I can find it. So, maybe not. So Jeb's been bringing the receipts. So the big thing that they were having a big fit about today was that Jeb said that he had gotten on a Greyhound bus and him and his fiance had gotten on a Greyhound bus and taken the dogs and left the state. And the big controversy over that was that you can't take a dog on a Greyhound bus, and he's lying and lying and lying. So Jeb posted a little video, and I just wanted to share it here with you guys. Wow, what's that? That looks like a dog on a bus, don't you think? Doesn't that look like a dog on a bus? Well, let's see if we can find another one. Oh, wait, guys. That might have been a dog on a bus. Oh, that's not the city bus. No, that's not the city bus. You know how I can tell? Because look there. See those chargers over on the side of the bus? Yeah, city buses don't have those. Those are for long haul buses. That's a Greyhound. And there's his dog. So he wasn't lying about that, right? So the next thing they started on Jeb about, by the way, Jeb got a job, guys, and Jeb is starting Monday on a job. A nice couple had helped Jeb and and his girlfriend out and gave them a place to stay for a couple of days and get their showers and actually got them a new tent. Not a new tent, it was a used tent. That because their tent was falling apart, he was fixing it and trying to, to keep caught up with it, but that tent was done. It was pretty done. So, oh, wait. One more. I've got one more. I just wanted to share. Well, look, there's Jeb and Destiny on a bus. There they are. There they are again on a bus. Wouldn't you know it? So all of these nasty comments that were left after Jeb's interview. And then when Jeb talked about and showed so proudly, you guys, he's so proudly talking about this job and it was what an amazing thing, and he couldn't believe he got the job, and he was just crazy excited about this job, and that someone also bought him a real pair of boots, like a comfortable real pair of good boots. And I can't remember if they were secondhand too, or if they actually bought them for him, but he was just so proud of these boots, right? And so he's talking about that, and then he showed his tool pocket, the pocket that they wear for their tools. And this is a union job. He never thought he'd ever be able to get a union job. It is an apprenticeship, and he can work into a journeyman if he does well, and so on and so forth. And the guy was glowing, and immediately the comments started coming about how did you get $1,000 worth of tools, Jeb, and yada yada yada. And it was just like, nobody wants the guy to be happy. People really it bothers some people when somebody else experiences a little joy and happiness, a little success. They rather be negative and ugly towards people than hope for somebody to have a better life. It just seems that way to me. So Jeb come back and he posted this. The actual cost of his, so the guy was saying that the tool that was a $200 tool belt. It's clearly on there that it wasn't. And the other tools that were in his little tool pocket thing, and they can cost that, because my ex used to be my ex-husband used to be a drywaller, and I can tell you tools can be very expensive, but these were small hand tools for an apprentice. And anyway, so he brought the receipts for those two. Good for you, Jeb. Good for you. That's what I say. Good for Jeb. So if you get a chance to go check out Jeb's, I'm going to tell you, go check out his short that him and his girlfriend did. It's called Staying Alive. And it is just, I said, that is the best revenge you can have on any of these people that are harping you and saying bad things about you, and going to Russell's channel and telling him what a jerk, idiot, dummy he is for believing in Jeb. And somebody said Russell donated. It was donating like $200 to Jeb from his proceeds from the videos that he did about Offended Outcast and Jeb, and they were just giving him all kinds of hell about that as well. So it just tells you a little bit about what's going on the internet, and how people just cannot stand to see other people happy, and to see somebody who came out of foster care, in the system, committed some crimes when he was younger, went to jail, has a record, hasn't been in trouble for quite a few years now, trying to make something of his life, and they just can't stand it. Can't stand it. Yeah, I agree with you. The Browns have answered very politely, I think, Cheryl. This is a subject that has been brought up over and 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 over to them again. And they've been very tight-lipped about the whole thing as far as I'm concerned. They haven't really divulged a whole lot about the situation other than very short snippets. And I don't know if that NDAs didn't have anything to do with that as well, because I'm sure there were NDAs signed by the Discovery Channel. And when they let Matt go and that whole thing happened, I'm sure there were more NDAs signed. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but I think they've been very tight-lipped about the whole thing. Sanders gotta go. Greyhound, duh. You talking about the photos? It was definitely a Greyhound, wasn't it, Cheryl? Now, I went right to the Greyhound site because I'm like, they got a point there. So I went right to the Greyhound site, and it does have to be a service dog and yada, 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 yada. But that doesn't mean they don't make exceptions. And that doesn't mean you can't slip somebody the ticket for an extra seat. I don't know. He obviously was on a Greyhound. To me, they were on a Greyhound. They had their dogs. The guy wasn't lying. I'm glad he brought the receipts. That's all I'm saying. I don't know about that, Smell the Roses. You haven't seen the other channels out, and I was going to get with that today too. So, um, one of the other channels that I came across, Dan's Journey. Oh God, I can't even make this shit up. I can't. I can't make it up. I'm telling you. You got to go watch Dan's Journey because let me see if I can pull it up for you. I'm just going to show you a small clip of what he did. And I'm going to just let you guys decide, but uh I don't even know if I want to show you this. Let me think about this for a second because I think he might dox people on this, to be honest with you. I think that was hold on one second, guys. I'm just going to show you the picture because I think he ends up doing some doxing on one of his videos. Jeb's girlfriend, as a matter of fact, is the one I think he doxes, and her full name, not, and that would be one thing, but he also doxes her child's name, her full child's name. And I'll tell you why we're going to get to this because, if I can find it. I found the video, but I don't want to play the video. I saved the video and then I decided I'm not playing that because he says her full name, even though I like cut it off. Um, no, I can't even find it, guys. Am I in the wrong place? The wrong time? I was living in the right place at the wrong time. Well, we'll show you this one first. So this feller here is Jeb's girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. And he made a video, and he doesn't usually make videos, but he felt like he had to address the things that Dan's Journey was saying about Jeb's girlfriend. So I'm going to see if I can show you this without.
This.
Okay.
If you've been following the story surrounding Jeb's journey, you probably already know that this situation has become more complicated and more concerning as additional information has come forward. I want to explain exactly why.
Okay, so I'm only going to show you that small clip. So this guy, God bless his heart, I think he's only had a channel for a few weeks. He's been on Jeb. He has been talking crap about Jeb. And now he is saying that Jeb's sister and mother claim that his girlfriend, I don't know if you guys seen the video of her saying she has not been kidnapped. So there have been rumors going on about her child being missing, her 2-year-old child being missing. So that's pretty serious. That's some serious stuff. Okay. And if people are making those kinds of accusations, then has the child been reported missing? For one, have you contacted the local authorities? Two, and if you're going to go on the internet and make these claims, I think you better cover your butt. You better know what you're talking about. So he posts this video from somebody who's claiming that her sister and her mom haven't seen the child in months. And they're on Facebook and they are, saying that the child's missing. And this person who sent him this email, she wants to start, a GoFundMe to help find this child. I'm not making it up. Go watch the video. I was just like, are you kidding me? Are you joking me? Somebody's on Facebook and sends you a message and it's not the mom and it's not the sister. It's somebody that knows the mom and sister and saw it on their Facebook. And they want to start a GoFundMe to find missing children, they are volunteering their time to find this missing child. Seriously? You fell for that, Dan? And then you're making a video and putting out the child's full name and the mother's full name. That's doxing, buddy. That is doxing. I haven't reported him. I don't know what to do. I just saw this. I promise you, like an hour before I came on tonight. But I'm going to tell you this. I did read his comments and I read all of them. And I'm just going to show you something. Okay. So in his comments, the sister is mentioned several times. Here is a picture of the sister. That is off of her YouTube page, which is under her name and the same last name as Grandma and Destiny's same last name. Okay? But she also has a Facebook page under, and her name is Chelsea. I'm going to tell you that. Another last name. Gives her destination as Kentucky. Lewiston, Kentucky, maybe. I can't remember right offhand, but it's the same girl. It's the same girl. In fact, this chick has like 5 or 6 Facebooks. So what I'm getting at here for y'all is I don't know if somebody actually made up a fake Facebook and took her pictures and used some of her pictures. But she does that. There's probably like 9 or 10, and it's all the same girl, by the way. Several of the Facebooks are under Destiny and her mom's last name. The ones that I found recently that list Kentucky are under a different last name. But it's the same girl. And I did the whole face recognition thing with AI. Send them this picture, send them that picture. It's the same girl. So this girl, who is claiming that her sister's child is missing, by the way, And the rumor has been going around on a couple of different places. And luckily, I will just tell you this, that the comment from Grandma under here, it was a video, which I'm not going to show you guys because it's her child. And when the grandma makes the comment, this was posted 2 days ago, by the way, by the sister. It's a 2-year-old child. And the name matches Destiny's child's name. So I don't know what is going on with the whole claims that Destiny has been kidnapped, that her child is missing. But I think those are terrible rumors that are being spread by YouTubers. Because they got a message from somebody, an email from somebody with this is real proof, the guy says. Do your research, dude. Do your research before you go doing this kind of thing. Because you just dox a child, a 2-year-old child, the sister, and Jeb's girlfriend. All three. I don't understand people. I don't understand. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Anyway, wanted to share that with you guys tonight. The hatred continues for good old Jeb, and he just keeps coming back, and he brings the receipts every time. I find that just absolutely awesome. Russell does stuff. Kudos to you, man. Kudos for sticking up for Jeb from the beginning. Kudos for that interview that you got with him. I'm going to tell you guys this, and maybe I'll read it to you the next time. But I've also emailed Jeb a couple times. I don't know if Cheryl has or not, but I have sent a couple emails to Jeb, and I have gotten answers from him, and quite long emails that he's written me back, and we've discussed what's going on with YouTube, the things that are being said. And my first one was, I'm sorry if you're mad at me, because he made that one, and he said he was not talking about me. He was talking about Nurse Ratchet, who is a whole nother story. We might go into that another day, because I didn't realize she's not right, man. She is not stable. She is not just, she's been doing this Sarasota Tim, which I didn't really care, because I don't really like Sarasota Tim. I think he's a fakey, phony guy who told a bunch of people to take retirement at 62 and has a shady past. And that was all revealed. But, and she's just been doing video after video on him for a long time. But I guess now she's attacking. She's got a whole slew of other people, including Russell does stuff, and Jeb. So she's on my hit list now. You betcha. And some other guy, and some other person. And I guess she started her whole YouTube channel and going after foodie beauty. I think I'd seen something about her a couple of places. I've never ever watched one of her videos, but the registered nurse who is authority on everything, and now she seems to be a legal authority as well. Who is licensed? She's licensed. She's got her licensure. She's a professional healthcare person, but has no empathy, sympathy, or love for Jeb, a child of the system, who clearly she posted it on her video, on his arrest record. Mental health was listed, mental health issues, and she's going to be a psychiatric nurse or something, and yet you're attacking this guy who is a survivor in my book, who's made mistakes, yeah. But a nurse in the psychiatric profession, I would think you'd be a little bit more careful about that kind of thing because of your licensure. Because of your licensure. Just saying, because of your licensure. That you'd be a little bit more careful when you're talking about somebody the way you've talked about him. I'm just saying. My opinion, right? I mean, she gives hers all the time. Russell shouldn't have kids, by the way. Russell does stuff. He should. Russell has raised a child, single dad. She's very successful. He loves her very much. He talks about her. I didn't even know this happened until recently when I watched his video because I guess she had attacked Russell does stuff too. Um, and said that he was not fit to be around children. Somebody that has no children is always the first person to talk about how the other people should raise their children. I find that funny. I find that funny. No, yes, I just want to address that right now. That is why I did not post the video of Dan's journey because he mentions the child's name, and the post that I showed you, what you couldn't see is up above it was the video of the child, which I did not in any way, shape, or show you guys. But I wanted you to see the comment from Grandma saying that and she used a nickname in the comment, and this was a video that was posted 2 days ago. So the grandmother and the aunt are fully aware of where the child is and what the child is doing, and there's somebody out there spreading rumors and starting problems, and poor Dan's journey. I don't think he has a clue what he's dealing with, guys. I didn't either when I started all of this, and I got uh, I felt like I got bamboozled by a lot of people too. I get it. Kind of feel bad for Dan, but somebody needs to give him a quick lesson about doxing. That is for sure. And I think the guy only started his YouTube channel maybe a couple weeks ago. So go leave him a message. I don't feel bad for him, but I do feel bad for him. I do not feel bad for him because anybody should have the common sense not to put a 2-year-old's child, her full name, out on videos. Period. 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 It doesn't take rocket science. That doesn't take rocket science. Everybody knows about Nurse Ratchet. I agree with you guys, man. It's just crazy out there. So I told you guys I was going to make a big announcement tonight, and I am. So I'm going to be doing a new series. It'll either be a new channel or a new series, and I haven't exactly. I talked to a couple other people that do YouTube videos. Thank you, Frank White, for the talk I had with him yesterday, and another person. And I was going to start a whole new channel, and I may still do that. And I've talked with a couple of you guys about it too. So if I could get a show of hands of the people here, give me a thumbs up if you know who Mark Leda and Soft White Underbelly is. I agree with you on that. I have never watched her, so I had no idea that she was like going after these other people. I did see her going after Offended Outcast, and I did see the one she did on Jeb, which just ticked me off. But I cannot. I'm just going to be mean. I'm just going to tell you like it is. I cannot stand her voice or her laugh. Her laugh sounds like Horseshack. Who watched Vinnie Barbarino? Welcome Back, Carter. You guys are a lot of you are my age. I know you watched Welcome Back, Carter. She laughs just like Horseshack. Oh, the difference is, here's the difference. Horseshack was funny. She's not. I just can't. It grinds me. It just literally like something comes up my back and up. Oh, I can't. I can't deal with her. So I don't even watch her. I can't. I just can't. I had no idea she did a video about or said something about Russell until I hadn't been watching his stuff either, but I went and started watching a lot of his stuff um after the Jeb thing the other night. Or it might have even been before the Jeb interview. And I was just like, I had no idea she had gone after him too. Anyway, I like Russell. Let's all give Russell a like and subscribe just for nothing else, but he deserves it for one thing. And he's a good guy. And it's same with Jeb, guys. If you haven't gone to his channel and you're not following his journey, I like redemption stories, and I think a lot of you do too. And I'm hoping for a redemption story with Jeb. If it doesn't turn out that way and he's bamboozling everybody like the whole internet is saying, I guess I'll have to get on here and say, oh, I was bamboozled by Jeb. But I don't think I'm being bamboozled by Jeb. And I am certainly supporting him, and I am certainly I'm rooting for Jeb. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm an idiot. Probably. I don't know. Welcome back, Carter. Then you know the Horseshack laugh. I think Russell's a good dude too. He just seems like a good dude. I already have the subs. You know what sounds really good right now is a sub sandwich. Oh yeah, Mark Leda. So, okay. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, Mark Leda has taken up a whole lot of crap. He really has. There are a whole bunch of people out there that hate Mark Leda. His material is very controversial. He does a lot of interviews with people that he said that 90% of the videos he puts on YouTube are demonetized because of the nature of the material that are spoken about. So, I mean, his material ranges just a lot of different things. My friend Lindy was on his channel, an 80-year-old woman that lives in her van. He did a video with her. I think probably what most people remember him for or know about is the Whitaker videos. So he found the Whitakers like 20 years ago and took photographs of them. Another Sunday, Scotty? Well, wait, mic drop. A mic drop. Somebody sent me a mic drop. Oh, D. Bruce sent me a mic drop for 600 joules. Thank you, dude. I've never had a mic drop. Gabe turned 81. No. Do you mean 41? I'm thinking you mean 41, maybe, or 31. I don't know. Yes, Starry Night. He put the Whitakers on the map, and there's been a lot of controversy over the Whitakers, and we will get to that. I think the first I'm going to do lives. They're going to be late at night. That's when I do my lives anyway. Well, for me, late at night, you guys, is 10 o'clock. I am a granny. It also gives, so if I'm doing it at 10 o'clock and you're on the West Coast, you're seeing it at 7, right? 7, am I right? So that's why and I'm kind of a nighttime kind. Oh, thank you, JJ. Thank you very much, JJ. You've been so supportive of me. You guys, it really does mean a lot, and I'm gonna tell you guys, you know, it means a lot. It really does. I do put a lot of effort in, um, and I've got a lot of behind the scenes things I'm doing. So, I'm hoping that the series about soft white under. So here's what Mark has a dark past. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about that. So I think the first live that we're going to do, we're going to get to know the reason behind soft white underbelly, the different types of topics and things that he uses on his or he does on his channel, what it's all about. And the reason that I want to do commentary on it is because there are a lot of things talked about on that channel that people watch and then they have no outlet for discussion about the things that are being talked about on that channel. Like I said, and I guess seasons, that's the way she feels about Mark. And there has been a lot of controversy around him in a lot of different ways. The way I feel about it is that he is tackling some subjects that few other people tackle. And he is giving a platform to people to tell their stories that have never had a platform to tell their stories. Some of the stories are horrific. Let's just face it. Some of them are. Some of them are super fascinating. I get very fascinated with like the undercover narcotics agents and FBI informants and witness protection, what it's like to be in witness protection. And then, you have the stories of the streetwalkers, the pimps, the prostitutes, the people like the Whitakers, people like Rebecca. Rebecca has been an ongoing character on Mark's channel. Now, people say Mark enables her, and I get that, but I've also seen her be offered lots of opportunities for recovery, for jobs. Rebecca is she's one of my favorite characters, but in a lot of ways, Rebecca is living and has been living the same thing Matt lived the last couple of months of his life. And it's very dangerous and it's very sad and it's very scary to watch. And she has so much potential. It's not even funny. And I do believe that she has some I believe schizophrenia is involved as well. And I have not watched all of her videos. Some of her videos are I can't watch them. I just can't. I just can't. So there are even some topics and videos on there that I don't know if I want to discuss them, but I know this. There you can leave a comment under the videos, but there's no group discussion about it. There's no way to discuss the topics that are being talked about. And I do believe some of the topics are very, very important. And I do believe that people are getting a look into lives and situations of fellow human beings that they would have no idea what it's like. And I think the way the world is going and empathy is being lost left and right, I think it's important that we see those things and know those things and we're able to talk about them. And whether we agree on them or not, whether you agree with me about that channel or not, that you have the right to say what you want. You have the right to feel the way you want. You may have information I don't have, and we can discuss that too. This is never about whether I'm right or wrong. It's just my viewpoint, and I really believe that other people should be able to talk about their viewpoints too, and we should be able to discuss those things like adults. And at the end of the day, we don't have to agree. We can still be humans, and we can still treat each other well, whether we agree on things or not. And there's some issues that there are no sides to take in. And a lot of those things are coming to a head in this country. There are no sides to take in some of the things that are happening in this country right now, to our fellow Americans, to our neighbors, to our friends, to our children, to a lot of people. Um, we need to learn to have open discussions again in this country without feeling like we have to take sides or we can't speak our voice. We can't talk about how we feel about something because it's not correct or we're going to be canceled or whatever it may be, because that is happening and has been happening a lot, especially with the internet. I guess that's something we'll have to talk about, Starry Night. We're going to get all into that in the upcoming series, uh, Underbelly After Hours. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. I hope that that falls in some of your wheelhouses. We'll see how it goes. I really did want to start a second channel. Um, Thank you, Dee Dee Bruce. I just saw that. Thank you very much. That means more to me than you could have, you could know. Um, and yeah, like I said, we all have different takes in life and we all have different takes in things that are going on. And my hope is that we can talk about those things and discuss them without it becoming a fight or whatever. You have the right to feel the way you feel about things. We all are walking through this life with different perspectives on things. You know that saying, rose-colored, you're seeing things through rose-colored glasses, which was really meant to be like somebody that's too optimistic. But the truth of the matter is that we all walk through this life with different issues, problems, ethnic backgrounds, where we grew up, and it all shapes the way we see and feel and how we see the world. And that's the truth. That's just the truth. You know, somebody that grew up in small town Minnesota on a farm is not going to see things the same way as somebody that grew up in the inner city of Detroit. They're not. They're not going to have the same experiences. They're not going to have known the same type of education, community. They're not. They're just not. Just because they have different perspectives, we all do, doesn't mean that we can't hear other people out without getting angry, ugly, nasty, and making horrible comments to people like the Browns, like everybody else out there, Jeb, whoever it is. We can say how we feel. We can bring our perspective and we can do it respectfully and we can walk away with that without hating somebody that doesn't have the same feelings or perspective on or views on what we're talking about. Can't we? Can we still do that? Has that been completely lost in this country? I don't know. I would hope not. I would hope we could. And that's what Underbelly After Dark is hopefully going to be about. I love the underdogs, guys. I've always loved the underdogs. I will probably always love the underdogs. And that kind of falls right in my wheelhouse. It's something that I see that like I said, you can go leave a comment on a video, but there's no real group discussion or community discussion about what you watched. It's just it's kind of a niche that maybe Mark needs to hear this. Maybe there needs to be lives or community discussions or a way for feedback, especially with the people that he's had on there multiple times, for those people to communicate with the community that he has and the people that are following his channel, and answer questions or things that might have been missed. I don't know. But we're going to talk about it. I hope you guys will join me for that. So I'm going to try and keep Sunday. I've built a lovely community, and we got some new people in here tonight, which makes me so happy, you guys. And then to see all of you that have been here, and have always supported me. It's just been a trying time, and if you know, you know. If you were here, you were here, and it was really hard for me to even get back into YouTube, and I'm still struggling in a way because of the whole Matt thing. But here we are, and I think it is. I'm getting over that hump, and I'm hoping everybody else is getting over that hump because it was severely felt by a lot of people. I can tell you that. Um, I feel the same way. Yes, and thank you. So Jane, I think I'm going to keep, we have a pretty, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Most of you that have been coming on Sunday nights have been coming in for a long time. We got some new people in here tonight. So I think we're going to keep Sunday night open for our community chats like we've been doing for a long time. And hopefully we can follow up some more with Jeb and Russell and the Brown family. And, a lot of us miss Matt. It's left a kind of a hole. And I was talking with Frank the other day, and I was talking a little bit about that with him, and he said, Teresa, these people and you were watching him for long periods of time, and there is an energy exchange, and you do feel like you've gotten to know somebody, and you know who they are, and don't let anybody tell you that wasn't real. So don't let anybody tell you guys that wasn't real. You had a connection. You connected with him. You felt connected with him. And the hurt and the pain that you suffered, with everything, it was real. So don't let anybody tell you it wasn't. It was. And it's okay. You're not crazy, weird, or anything else because of it either. So I hope you guys will join me for the Underbelly After Dark. I think After Hours or After Dark. I haven't made the full choice. And if it does take off in a different direction, maybe I'll start the second channel. I don't know. I've got people telling me not to start the second channel, just to do it. That now that YouTube lets you kind of it allows for you to kind of have show. I don't even know what they call it. I got to look into it more. I just talked to somebody about it yesterday. So you kind of can have more than one niche, the whole niche thing with YouTube, but it kind of allows for that. So, oh, I hate living in fear too. Nobody should have to live in fear. But from what I understand, and maybe I'm wrong, Starry Night, have they been contained now? Is that under control? I mean, Scotty Kitty's telling us it's 110 degrees there, for God's sakes. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine that. Yeah, I have to agree with that, Starry Night. Yeah. I think this world does a number on a lot of people that have tender hearts. So, on that note, I think that's why we need more empathy. We need more community. I think we've lost a lot of our sense of community in this world, and it's something we need to get back. Idaho, Utah, Oregon. You guys, I do not watch the news, and I'm gonna just confess, I don't. I don't watch any news. I barely ever turn my TV on anymore, to be honest with you. And I'm sorry that I haven't kept up with that, but thank you. I'll look into that. And that's a very good point, Linda. Matt brought us all together here. He lives on in a lot of ways here, I think, I feel. And that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Okay, so Jane, we're gonna start this week, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Mark Lada, who does the Soft White Underbelly channel and his content. And I'm going to go into that a little bit this week. And we are probably, the next slide we'll do on that is going to be about the Whitakers. So if any of you haven't caught up with the Whitaker content, go ahead and do that, because there is a lot of stuff behind that. And that could be a couple, 2, 3 shows. I don't know. But I do want to hear from you guys, and I would like to know, and that's what the first live is going to be, a short live introduction, and we'll talk about different things. But I would like to hear from you guys, some of your favorite episodes, some of the favorite people that you've watched and viewed, and the ones you want to talk about, because it's a community type thing. So everybody, the reason we're going to hit the Whitakers first is because of everything that's happened with the Whitakers over the last few years, and that has really kind of been, I don't want to say that launched his channel, but it did in a lot of ways. I mean, there are a lot of people that would not know about Soft White Underbelly if it weren't for the Whitakers. So there is that reason. Not trying to exploit them, but there is a whole story behind that went way beyond Mark as well. And there were other YouTubers involved and stuff that happened that was very, very questionable. So we'll go into that. But Wednesday night, I'm going to try and keep it Wednesday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Unless something comes up, I'll let you guys know. But we're going to do it 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that, people have a chance to get home from work. And if they do want to catch the live out on the West Coast, that puts us at, but I can't remember, it's 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. I've been up too long. I will tell you this. I I was working on my video this week, that what I keep telling you guys all about, and I took off I took off Saturday night, and me and the dogs went and had some fun. We went to the river, we hung out, we spent the whole day traveling the roads in the mountains today, and little byways, and I didn't film any of it, but I did go back to Mount Vernon, to the cemetery, because I needed to get a couple different shots. And they are restoring this hotel there, that's on like a corner, and I've driven by it so many times now, and had curiosity, and I was up there like a year ago, and it at that time they hadn't started, I don't think, work on it. I know they hadn't, because they had these like pictures in the boarded up windows, and I remember that. So anyway, there was somebody out there. The building was all open, all the windows were opened up, and there was a guy out there working, and I pulled in, and I must have sat and talked to that guy for like 2 hours. And I kept thinking in the back of my head, you need to get home, you got to live tonight, you got to get your video finished. And I just said, you know what? This feels like the right thing to do. That video will wait. here we are once again. I'm almost done with it, but um I'm excited about that one too. And I was talking to him about the history of the area and what they're going to do with this motel. And I'm into architecture. So he took me in and I could see we couldn't go upstairs yet because it hasn't been shored in. But the walls of this place are 14 to 21 inches thick in places. It was just amazing. And I got carried away with that, but we had a great time this weekend. I so needed it. I needed it so bad. Um, and I'm not making excuses. I needed it. And it was a good time. And I got to out and talk to people. And it was, like I said, this guy he was kind of crazy, but he, he was fun to talk to. And we talked for like 2 hours. I'm not kidding. Anyway, he was as crazy as I am, so that tells you everything. Do it live from a haunted house? Maybe he'll let me go do it from that hotel. This is like and I think I want to say it was 3 or 4 stories. And like the first story, which would have been the entry level from the train station, um, because it's built like right where the tracks are and the train station. So that would have been, and it had the door, you guys, was 5 foot across, 5 feet across the door. And it was, I'll show I got a picture of it, so I'll show it to you guys next time. But it was just very interesting, and I wanted to know what we're going to do with the building, and they haven't decided, but exactly what they're going to be doing with the building. But we were talking about the history of that area and the railroad and different things that also correlate with the story that I'm doing too. Okay, well, yep, I agree with you. You don't have to be nice, you don't have to be ugly, but we all have things that are interest. There are literally people out there that follow channels and people for no other reason than they hate them. That is the truth. I'm telling you, I've seen it on the Browns channel. Why are you even coming here? If that's the way you feel. Oh, wait, look, the last video you said the same disgusting stuff. So you're literally coming to this channel just to make these comments. So there's that too. People that literally follow a channel because they hate it. That's weird to me. I don't know if it's a weird to anybody else. Not to touch the poop. I'll keep that in mind. I try not to touch the poop. And if I do, I wash my hands thoroughly. Okay? Just gonna say, you must have saw my Cola Guard video. You guys, Granny's gotta go. I didn't even mean to be on this long tonight. Well, we've been on here for over 2.5 hours. Well, almost 2.5 hours. So the Wolfpack guy, I'm just gonna leave you with this, Jane. The Wolfpack guy was not Matt's friend in any way, shape, or form. The Wolfpack guy collected all this money from these TikTokers to go basically on a couple weeks vacation. In the name of Matt, he was going to go investigate and get to the bottom of what happened to Matt. And there was all kinds of controversy. Supposedly, he offered the family money to buy Max and Matt's ashes. All kinds of weird stuff over on TikTok about that. All I'm going to tell you this, the guy is not well. He's, I think, not well at all. And there's a bunch of ladies over there that are on to him, that have tore him up one side and down another, and they've brought the receipts. So, yeah, I think his TikTok's done. It's over. He literally scammed people by telling him he was Matt's best friend, basically. Um, I hope you had a nice vacation, feller, up there in Washington. He attacked Bear immediately after, and he attacked Jamie. He attacked Fungi, which I didn't have a problem with. In fact, I kind of enjoyed that. But then he was Fungi's buddy, and he was going to go talk to Fungi, and Fungi was going to talk to him, and a couple other people too. And I don't think he talked to anybody, and I don't think he did anything except for go on a vacation. But his name was We the Wolf Pack on TikTok, and he was definitely a scam artist. Definitely a scam artist. Remember when I said it, guys? Do not give any money to anybody. They're going to come out of the woodwork as soon as this happened to Matt. I told you they would come out of the woodwork, and there has been more than one. There was also somebody that was claiming to be Matt's half brother on TikTok and making all these claims that he was his half. Matt did have a half sister, but I don't think he had a half brother. And that was another guy that was scamming everybody. So there was a scam artist that came out. The Wolfpack guy really got nailed. But I thousands and thousands of dollars is from what I'm hearing is what he got away with in Matt's name, and with the claim of he was going to go get to the bottom of it. So. And you could tell after a while, I could tell he'd never even watched Matt's videos. And that was the thing, let alone was he Matt's friend. Anyway, so I hope to see you guys Wednesday night, 10 p.m. And thank you for coming, and thank you for all your support. Granny's gotta go.